I'm Eric Cooper. This is the seated adaptation of clearing out the back, the front, the sides, and then sort of the culmination of freedom of all those planes. We're going to look at twist and rotation. You can do this seated. You can do it standing in the checkout lane at the grocery store. We're going to start with Whoa Nellie, and if you'd like to really learn it well, you should watch the video on Whoa Nellie. But you're holding the reins of a horse, and just sort of pull back, elbows pull back, and back of upper arms and shoulders push back behind you. Or maybe it's good to be sitting on the front of the seat, the edge of the seat, and we're into that. It's just shoulders, elbows, and back of upper arms pull back. And we're just coming out of that really easily. Just less and less and less and less effort. Back to neutral. Okay, now the horse isn't stopping, so we're going to pull back a little bit more. So it's elbows, back of upper arms, back of shoulders. Pull shoulders together. As the shoulders pull together, could you pull the ribs and back come together to sort of push your bow tie up toward the sky, and pulling those elbows back behind you. And come out of that easy. Come out of that easy. Now we're learning the details. So we can skim through this when we're done. Okay. So here, as we do Whoa Nellie, we're breathing in maybe and then squeeze some air out of the back. Can you squeeze some air out of the back as you push your back forward? It's the back breathing space. I'm pushing the back forward. Shoulders, elbows, shoulders pull together, upper ribs, middle ribs, low back. It's like the ribs are pulling the shoulder blades down toward your back pockets. And then we're coming out of that easy. Slow, slow, slow. You're moving stiff things. Be really gentle. Go so slow that it could accept that movement in a gentle, kind, loving way. Okay, maybe as you come forward, could you take a little bit of a breath into the back? Can the breath be into the low back and the mid back and the upper back? And Whoa Nellie, squeezing the air out. If you want, you can just have your arms by your side. And what if you push your pinkies back behind you and get the triceps and the back of the forearms, and you could just have a lovely yawn, like you're pulling your elbows back behind you together. Just arch the back, lovely. Not a strain, not a cramp. Go gentle on it. Those are tired muscles. Be gentle on the muscles. They've been working really hard. We're just trying to teach your brain. The brain is the boss of it. Teach your brain how to let the muscles have a chance to relax. Okay. That's the Whoa Nellie. That's relaxing the back. And just notice how you are now with the back relaxed. You know, as you stand up, as you sit up straight, can you tell, is there like a force? Is there a pull that's trying to hunt you forward now that your back is relaxed? Well, let's come out of that a little bit. Thumbs are out in front, okay? And I call this movement get away from the thumbs. We're going to move the torso away from the thumbs. So imagine you're a cat. You just woke up from a nap, and the thumbs go forward, and I'm sinking my chest away from the thumbs. And as I'm pushing them forward, it's like the shoulders in front pull together and make it really small in front. Squeeze the air out. And the breath in. Slow, slow, slow. Breathing cycles if you need to. A little breath into the front, squeeze some air out of the back, and come into Whoa Nellie. Just pull those elbows back. Let that front be beautifully open. And here we go. We're breathing into the back to help it open. Squeeze the air out of the front. Thumbs are forward, and close it up, close it up. Be small. It's like I'm pulling my armpit and shoulders down into the center of the body. Maybe even imagine, can I pull them shoulder down toward the opposite front pocket? Closing it down and open it up. Whoa Nellie. Okay, that's front and back. Those are stress tensions, front and back. In humans, that's how we react to stress. We withdraw or we jump into action. That's sort of the theory of it. And we can be trapped in all of it at the same time, a big tug of war. Let's de-escalate the tug of war. How much practice have you had being in stress? And we're really good at reacting to stress and learning. And our stress response system thinks it's doing great. It got you through all of this, all the difficulties of life. It got you to survive. So it's going to keep doing it. It normalizes these tensions and these patterns. Okay, front and back. Now come back to sitting and notice, well, is it pulling you forward? Is the back tightening to protrude the belly? Is the front tightening to hunch you over? It's a little easier to be upright. Okay? Let's think about the sides, these big swaths down the sides. Now, you can have your arms resting by your side. Just think about one elbow. Here, I'm thinking about my right elbow. That'd be your left elbow if you're watching me. We're just sort of, we're pushing that elbow down toward the side belt loop. And in a way, at the same time, it's not the elbow, it's the armpit is pulling that shoulder down toward the side belt loop. We're closing it up. Okay, we're closing what's stiff. All right, now it can open. And we're going to just close down. The head's along for the ride. The head's along for the ride. One shoulder lowers. We're not even lifting up that other shoulder. We're just pushing that armpit down by our side. And we can have this nice movement. We can have one elbow goes down and one elbow goes up. And well, look at it. You know, where in that opening, what section doesn't know how to open? Right now, even as we sort of hang out right here, maybe breathe into that open side. Is there a place that's saying, hey, I'm stretching here? Well, as we close and lower that shoulder, can you use that line? Can you use that place and take control of that? And we're going to close it. For me, it was a little bit in my back, on that back side. So I'm going to push forward a little bit and close that back. And okay, now here, we're closed over there on that side. I'm going to take that breath in and say, oh, does the breath come into there? And today, it's nice. It's opening really good. But if it's for you, find that spot that doesn't know how to open. Low ribs, middle ribs, upper ribs, front, back of ribs. Okay, closing it on up. We're going to close that place that didn't know how to open. If it was in the back, you're going to push your tummy forward a little bit. If it was in the front, you're going to sort of close up and lower that collarbone down toward the front pocket. So we can have this nice side bending movement and move that stiff stuff. So here's the shortcut. And if you're old enough, you might remember or know, I call this I Dream of Jeannie. So the head's along for the ride. One shoulder lowers, and the head just tassels over to that side. And I'm pulling that armpit down the side. I'm closing it up. A little bit, maybe I'm trying to imagine, could I possibly lift that side belt loop up toward that lowering armpit? And here we're going all the way. We're closing up the other way. We're bending the spine. Not stretching. Just look where it doesn't know how to open. And those are the places that need to be pandiculated and to have maybe specialized movements or even a special lesson. I could give you a special lesson. I do Zoom sessions and in-person sessions with people. Okay. We're just moving it a little bit. I Dream of Jeannie, side to side. And you could look into it further and do the side bend if you wanted to. Some of those very side-focused, on the floor explorations. Those are helpful. Okay, now we have front, back, and sides. Beautiful. Let's put it together. I call this the kayaker. Okay, you've got the kayak paddle. I don't know, I like kayaking. Put the paddle down. It goes into the water by your feet. And then you pull it back. And notice that as that shoulder goes back, it's pulling. Can you pull that shoulder, the shoulder that's back, can it pull across to the opposite back pocket? Can the ribs and that whole accordion, can you sort of arch the back forward and that shoulder blade is pulling to opposite back pocket and opposite back pocket a little bit pulls toward shoulder blade. It's easier to get that part if you're standing or just like that. And then kayak, the kayaker. Paddle goes into the water out in front of you, and it pulls back. And you're pulling that shoulder back behind you, and you're twisting. In a way, that the hand that's coming forward, it's pushing the paddle forward. That elbow pushes forward out in front of you as the elbow that goes back behind you and down. And let's just twist that out. Just forget the kayaking. Let's just twist and bend in that nice, beautiful way of shoulder to opposite back pocket and shoulder to opposite back pocket. That. Okay. Now, if there's next day soreness, you move some stuff that hasn't been moving, it's been really tight, that was at a high simmer, boiling over almost. Go back and visit it gently. It's, whoa, Nellie. Right now, we're just going to skim through it. Whoa, Nellie, easy, easy. Just close it up, close the back. And if you want, arms can come back and straighten out behind you. And slow, slow, slow. The bow tie lowers toward belt buckle. Get away from the thumbs. Closing up the front. Slow and smooth. Can the brain accept it? Can you see all the places that open? Can you know all the places that close? I dream of Jeannie. Closing on up. It's like get away from the thumbs. If my hand was out here, I'm getting away from that thumb. I'm moving all this stuff away from that thumb. So here we are. We're arching the body. I'm side bending. Sometimes the brain just loves to avoid that line. We're closing it up. I'm closing the ribs. Where does it not know how to close? That's it. Could I even, sometimes for more, when I'm practicing, I think, can I get a little tilt of my head right here, the upper joint? Each joint bending, bending, bending. Can every spot in that arc of the whole side help? And then I'm going all the way. I'm going to start with the tilt of the head, the bend of the neck, the lowering of the shoulder, the upper ribs, the middle ribs, the lower ribs. The waist closes up and almost lifts that side of the sit bone up off the table, up off the chair. And we're coming like that. We can really, can you create the perfect bend of total control and activation all the way? Can you be in control of that? Can you make it smooth? Okay. Can you see it from inside? Can you know all the possibilities of movement for your body? The kayaker. Or just pull. I usually teach it like this. Just shoulder goes back a little bit. And think about shoulder and opposite back pocket. Just pull them together. That's it. And then the other one, shoulder goes back a little bit. Shoulder and opposite back pocket. Now, as you pull back, what place is quiet? What place is giving that yawning sensation? What place is quiet? Just close it up, fill it in, make it just a pleasurable experience. Like a cat yawns and does these pandiculations because it's pleasurable. Close it up, create the feedback, pay attention, teach your brain how to let these places relax. There you go. Go about your day, see if you can fit that in. I'd love to hear from you if you found this helpful. I really enjoy hearing the insights that you have of what changed, what place didn't move. Were you able to teach it to move? Thank you very much for practicing with me today. I'm Eric Cooper, InspireSomatics.com. Blessings on your journey.